Hello, Habs fans. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Habs Fan Forum. I'm Ben Dankyu, and of course, here at the Forum, this is where us fans get to have our voices heard. Alright, now let's talk about those Montreal Canadiens, because we have a big playoff series preview ahead. Wow, the anticipation is killing me right now. This week off hiatus where we have to watch these Canucks and Flames. We don't have to watch them, but these Canucks and Flames games that are completely irrelevant go on. And then there's this insane atmosphere of playoff hockey. I do have to say, this is the first time I've really been tuned into other divisional games. That Florida and Tampa series is just such fun hockey. It's just making me sit at the edge of my seat waiting for the Leafs and the Habs to throw their hats in the ring and show how they can have a crazy rival, banging, goal-scoring opportunities, just fast-paced playoff hockey game. This series is going to be wild. So the anticipation is definitely building. So on that note, let's go into a playoff series preview. The Leafs, clearly the leaders of the division, the best hockey team in the division. They lead it in the analytics. They lead it in the standings. They led it in the series against the Habs. They are just by and far clearly favored. Now, there's a couple narratives being thrown around here. One, Marc Bergevin's built for the playoffs style of hockey. Absolutely, I gotta say the Habs do have that depth and if they play the right style of hockey, they have that ability to keep crashing, keep banging, and just put consistent 4 lines of pressure, work on in the team, and really grind out those wins. But let's not get it twisted. It didn't work in the regular season, so we need to see that before we can claim it, Marc Bergevin. So the first narrative, okay, sure, we're built for the playoffs. The second one is really that it's a tale of 2 tapes for the Montreal Canadiens in the season. The first half of the season, especially out of the gate, they had a winning record. They were a hot team, goal scoring, topped the league in the first 30 games for goal share and some of the analytics. Their possession numbers were great. They were a formidable team. The second half of the season, post-COVID pause, post-Julian firing, post injuries especially, everything layered on, but the second half of the season, they limped through that and really just don't look like a very strong team. They desperately need their guys back, but more than that, even if you look at this narrative, the Leafs still beat them 3-1 in the series before the COVID break. So even in their best part of the season, they weren't as good as the Leafs. So, needless to say, we just need to temper our expectations. The Habs have a tough challenge ahead of them. They can make it work, but there's definitely a few keys to make this happen. Relentless pressure, suffocating defense, having a healthy lineup back that can just contain Austin Matthews, contain William Nylander, contain Mitch Marner, as best as you can. We've seen that you can't fully contain those guys, and you can even throw John Tavares in the ring there. But we've seen that you can never fully contain them. But contain them and just consistently pressure them, suffocating defense, make it hard to play in front of the net, hit them as much as possible, and just swarm them as much as possible. Make their lives difficult. Which kind of leads to another point. They're really good with the puck. The Leafs have shown with puck possession they are a dominating team. They have so much skill up front, and if they have the puck, they're going to do some damage. So puck control, face-off wins. It's nothing new here. Crisp passes, just being safe and controlled with the puck. And then finally, capitalizing on those chances off the rush. The Canadiens are known for as a counterattack team, but they have to put the puck in the net. They have to finish on the chances they generate from that those neutral zone turnovers and that fast-paced break up the ice. If they can start finishing like we've seen with Arturi Lehkonen and Paul Byron and Jake Evans and his depth roles in the past few games, along with strong play from the main contributors like Toffoli's got to keep scoring, Suzuki's got to keep scoring, you add that together and you have a recipe that could work against the Leafs. On top of that, of course, Carey Price has to be on his game. I'm talking plus 915 save percentage, playoff performing Carey Price. Big moments, big saves. Needs to be on top of his game and healthy if they stand any chance in this series. If all those things kind of come together, I definitely see them having a chance, but it's going to be a tough one. I would love to see this series go to 7 and Habs take it in 7. That would be huge. So for the sake of putting that energy in the universe, I'm going to say Montreal Canadiens in 7 just because I'm not tossing in the towel quite yet. One thing that's just killing me is the lineup choices going in. The fact that KK, Romanoff, and Caulfield aren't playing in the first game for Merrill, Stahl, and Caulfield kind of makes sense. Caulfield's the only one in there that I can see why. He's really he's played a lot of hockey this year. He's a young guy. He moved up so many leagues. He doesn't have the defensive presence of some of the other players on the team. I can see why you'd have him out of game 1, sit him, and then maybe bring him in as you need him, a.k.a. if you need scoring. But KK and Romanoff, those guys have to be in your lineup. They showed it last year in the playoff bubble. They're your core. They're their young players. Let them play. Surround them with the right pieces and develop them properly. Is Dom Ducharme trying to save his job here? What is going on? Play your young players. I know they had some tough stretches down the back half. They retired. They got their rest. At the end of the day, they have to show on the ice that they can play better, but give them that chance in the playoffs. There's definitely a lot more that can be said about this playoff series, so I would tune into the Canadiens Connection or the Press Zone. Tune into those podcasts, which are actually a proud part of the Hockey Podcast Network, which is sponsored by DraftKings. So, a little tidbit, if you download the DraftKings app and use the promo code THPN, you'll get your own special offer courtesy of All Habs. Alright, reach out to Twitter at Montreal_Forum. If you have any thoughts at all, make sure you're tuning in to All Habs for the best Canadiens coverage. I'm Ben Dankyu, and of course, go Habs, go! Woo!